Welcome, welcome. It is another wonderful episode of the podcast. It is a beautiful snowy day out, and it is 35 degrees in Florida over there.
Yeah, it
Um,
certainly is.
yeah, we're here. We're here for another episode. We've got some good stuff going on, and this is technically my episode, shall we say, because you did the last one. So I came up with some stuff to talk about for this one. The first half, I have some stuff I want to talk about that's actually happening. I believe it started happening yesterday. No, by the article, it says as of the 24th of January, but I only started hearing about it yesterday, Saturday. Um, and then the second half, I want to do a little game with you. So, first off, first and foremost, I hope everyone who's listening is having a wonderful day. I hope you're
Yes.
all I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and try not to die of COVID or any other disease. And I hope you enjoy the podcast. So, this first topic has to do with Spotify and something that piqued my interest with some of these old head artists. And what I mean by old head is people who are, for those who don't know the term old head, it's just sort of veteran artists, older people like, 50s, 60s and up who were popular back in the day and are now sort of just the vets. Recently, artist Neil Young spoke out about how he doesn't like that Spotify is openly allowing and promoting Joe Rogan's podcast, specifically because he believes Joe Rogan is promoting fake facts, anti-vaccination information and ideas. And because of this, he has removed his entire discography off of Spotify. And this is huge. This is huge because Spotify currently is next to Apple Music, is the leading space or zone or platform for people to listen to music. I used to buy my music $1.30 or whatever off of iTunes. I haven't bought a song in years because I just listen off of Spotify or YouTube. I don't buy music anymore. So for music to be removed off of Spotify by Neil Young's choice or his organization company's choice is huge. And what's happening is I'm interested to see how big this gets because there are other old heads that know Neil Young and have worked with Neil Young and are sort of around his scope that are doing the same. They are removing their music from Spotify because they believe in the idea of, yeah, free speech, but free speech is one thing, but at the same time, this is a company. So it's not the government. Spotify, just like Twitter, can remove Trump. Why? Because it's not a government-owned organization. It's a company, and you sign the terms and agreements, and therefore they can remove you. Joe Rogan is very much a huge proponent to Spotify's company because there's a lot of people who appreciate Joe Rogan for whatever hell reason. But they would rather remove their music from Spotify than be on the same platform as Joe Rogan. So that's huge. That is huge. Before I keep going, what is your thoughts? I don't know. Do you know Joe Rogan?
Not very well. I isn't he the one that used to do wrestling?
Yeah, to a degree.
So
Yeah.
people should really listen to him because he's very qualified as to what he says, right?
Well, he's sort of in that atmosphere of like the Jake and Logan Paul atmosphere where it's a lot of talking and it's a lot of I'm gonna do this, and it's sort of like you're doing it, but you're also majorly lying about it. It's like Jake Paul saying he wants to be a pro boxer and then only boxing retired or non-pro boxing people and winning. And he's like, oh, I'm 4-0. It's like, you're not fighting actual boxers. You're fighting retired people who haven't picked up gloves in 10 years. So yes, you're a boxer and you're making it look bigger than it is, but you're not actually fighting people.
You see, I listened to him a couple of times, but I try to ignore people like him because when he speaks, it's like a fart blowing away in the wind.
I like that. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I mean, personally, I agree. And it's funny because it's a common thread for women to, if they're out, let's say looking for a man, right? If they're single, they're at a bar or they're on an app hunt, like looking for a man. If anywhere at any point in time do they discuss Joe Rogan, it's an immediate red flag. It's like when Democratic women talk to a man and the moment they bring up Trump, they're like, oh, like Republican, we're just not going to mesh. Our mindsets are not going to mesh. Our ideals aren't. So it's just not going to work. That's what happened with Joe Rogan. Guys who love Joe, and for some reason, the guys who like Joe Rogan love Joe Rogan. It's not like, yeah, it was a good movie. It was fine. It's like you either hate Joe Rogan or you absolutely fucking love him. And so yeah, apparently it's a thing with women who I've spoken to that have said like, yeah, Joe Rogan is like an immediate red flag that we look out for. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because the entirety of Joe Rogan's podcast is conspiracies and fake facts and just conflict and conflict and conflict and conflict and anything that can sell. It's People Magazine. It's anything that can get attention. So, but also sidebar for those who don't know who Neil Young is. Oh, you want a timeout?
Time out. My TV just went on.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We'll pause.
I'm back.
All right, we're back.
back.
Sorry, I had to pause it real quick. His TV popped on because the Spirit was getting bored with our podcast. They wanted to watch TV instead.
Yeah.
So
right.
you guys probably didn't even realize it because I'm just gonna like split it. But there was a small pause. For those who are watching YouTube, you'll definitely see the video shift. Anyways, the sidebar I was going to get into, for those who don't know Neil Young, I believe a lot of your demographic will understand this, not mine. Neil Young is a rock and roll Hall of Famer. So he is a very prominent artist. So for anyone who's like, who the hell is Neil Young? Man's got some significant discography under his belt. So he deserves some respect to at least some degree. And for him to what?
He's a legend.
Right. But I'm saying, like, for the people who don't know him, he deserves to a degree some respect. And the fact that he's doing this is big. But he removed his entire catalog. And there are other artists who are in solidarity and are either pulling their music as well or are just outwardly speaking about it. An artist.
Didn't the boss say he's pulling his music?
What do you mean the boss? Neil Young's boss?
No, the boss, the big man from New Jersey. You know, the most famous rock and roller from New Jersey. Come on, Peter.
Look. I mean, I can.
The boss. Who do you call the boss from New Jersey? Your father's one of his favorite entertainers.
Oh, Springsteen?
Yeah.
Wait, what is he doing? What?
I think I read that he's pulling his music.
And now it's 3 E Street. It's pulling. Well, Nils Lofgren from E Street Band. He's the guitarist from the E Street Band. He's pulling his music.
Okay. So maybe it was him, not the boss.
Yeah. So as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's. Oh, Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell pulled her music.
She's Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yeah, Joni Mitchell's joining. Neil Young, Nils Lofgren. I'm trying to see if there's any more. This is literally only like 4 days into this.
Yeah.
But there are significant amount. There's a hashtag going on, hashtag leave Spotify. And I'm very interested as someone, as a media person, and as someone who went to college for media and literally studied things like the growing and the culture behind a hashtag. This is a very, very interesting hashtag specifically and concept to follow. For anyone interested to see what this could happen, follow that hashtag, because Leave
Peter?
Spotify could very well start a rift if Spotify doesn't do anything. If Spotify kicks Joe Rogan off, then obviously there's no issue. Because, well, actually, there will be an issue. What?
I don't know if I'm maybe I don't know if I'm off base. There could be a reason why they're doing that. They may want to sell their complete works to somebody, like when Michael Jackson sold all his works to Paul McCartney.
No, because so the way it works is nowadays, no one organization has a monopoly over music. So if you see Drake or Ariana Grande on Spotify, you'll see her on YouTube, you'll see her on Apple Music, you'll see her on iTunes, you'll buy CDs. There's no company that owns the means to the production anymore in terms of a straight line production. So their music is everywhere. For them to pull the music off is simply just they're losing money. Granted, Nils, I hope I'm saying his name right, and maybe Niles, might be Niles. I'm going to call him Niles because I'm tired of saying Nils. This was a quote from him off this website. He said, "We will miss the $3.28 we get a year, but we will forge ahead righteously." For those who don't realize, Spotify pays very little for music. Very, very little. If your music's on Spotify, it is purely for exposure, not for income. It's like I think it's per million listens. I think it's like $1,000, and that's hard. That's really hard. And granted, $1,000 is good money, but if my music is only on Spotify and it's getting 1 million per song, I'm not coming out with a song a week. I'm coming out with an album a year. So great. I get 1 million listens. Let's say I get 2 million per song and there's 14 songs. I get $14,000 for the year. Good money, not to live off of. So,
So Peter, what do you think? When we hit 1 million, should we pull our podcast off of Spotify?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We'll pull it off because we have the agency and the we've got the backing behind it to say, you know what, fuck Joe Rogan. We want exclusivity. That's exactly what we're gonna do. No.
Okay.
But this is a very interesting topic to focus on because there's a very complex event that's about to happen. Bunch of things can happen. The fact that Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Niles, and a couple other people are not only either dropping out or speaking out. David Crosby is another musician.
You know who he is, right?
Catherine Meyer as well.
You know who David Crosby is, don't you? Crosby,
former CSNY bandmate.
Crosby, Stills and Nash. She was on originally.
Yeah. So, but like significant people. It's not just like some guy with 1,000 listens. These are significant people. Are they older and are they sort of out of? They're out of the limelight, shall we say, with people, possibly. But they're still legends and they're still impactful people that will be the small ripple that affects the greater people. And with that, I am interested to see what happens because a few things are about to happen. This is going to start to hit more people. The hashtag and what's going on with this is going to hit more people. Joe Rogan is, of course, going to talk about it because, of course, he wants to get himself in this thing so that people listen to his podcast and he gets more attention because that's, of course, the type of person he is. And so we're going to see people leaving. We're probably going to see more people leaving Spotify. We're going to see Joe Rogan talk about this and put it to the forefront. We're then going to see the public go after it and throw their opinions on it. And then we're going to all wait to see what Spotify does, because that's going to be its own issue. Whatever Spotify chooses, they're going to lose. Because if Spotify chooses to keep Joe Rogan, a lot of people that are pro-vaccination, which you should be, you should be, are going to leave. They're going to leave Spotify because they're going to say, why would I want, it's Spotify's growing, is becoming a bad name. It's becoming this type of person's app. We'll stay on Apple Music or YouTube. And the money that they make, the famous people at least, is negligible. So they don't care. With that being said, if they choose to get rid of him, the people who support Joe Rogan, the artists and the audience, are going to leave because they're going to now say, oh, it's a leftist app. Oh, it's a this type of app. We don't want to go there anymore. We'll go to Apple Music, or we'll go to Stitcher, where Joe Rogan is still on podcasts. That's where or we'll go on YouTube. And that's what's going to happen. And so this sort of ripple effect is going to occur, whether it happens quickly or over the next few months. I am very interested also because I would say that this sort of microcosm of an event started because of Twitter removing Trump. It starts because of that, because Twitter made the big flex and said, we are a company, we are not the government, so we will remove who we want to remove. And though it was a big controversial topic, they have the legal right. You signed the agreement and you agreed to live under their rules. And if they change the rules, you agreed to it. Sorry, you don't like it, make your own app. You can't do anything about it. You signed a contract. That agreement is a contract. Same way every time when you sign up for a Gmail or you sign up for any app and you press agree, in those terms and conditions, you agree to have your data sold to other companies, and that's how you get advertisements on things that you Googled once, because you agreed to do that. You can opt out of it. A lot of places will give you the option to opt out of it, but you agreed. With that, started with Twitter, we're now to Joe Rogan on Spotify. What will be the continuation of this is to see if it extends to other applications like YouTube or Apple Music or Apple Podcast, which, by the way, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and like 12 other applications, as well as YouTube, Stitcher, Opencast, and so many other places. So you can check us out on all of those. Quick plug.
Good plug.
And so, but it's the fact that it started with Twitter and it's now shifted to a Spotify event could very well mean that we're going to see some more of this on either side. We may see someone retaliate on the other side meaning people who support Joe Rogan and the anti-vax movement. And they may say, well, I'm going off of Apple Music because Joni Mitchell is still on Apple Music. I'm staying on Spotify. And now we're going to start having this divide, possibly. I hope not. The last thing we need is more freaking dividing, but we're seeing it. So very, very complex situation. Complex in the sense of a lot of things are going on. The answer and the solution is not complex at all. The answer and solution is remove Joe Rogan, because if he's spreading consistently false facts and conspiracies and has the audience that he has, where he has a massive influence, yeah, he deserves to be removed. Because if you wouldn't hire a teacher in your school to teach you fake facts and to teach you that, no, babies aren't grown inside of you. A stork comes. When you have sex, a stork comes and he knocks on your door and says, "Here's a child," you wouldn't hire someone like that. So I mean, granted, it's an app. You don't have to be qualified to do shit. But at a certain point, when you develop a certain level of audience, you have a certain agency and a certain responsibility to be truthful or factual, or to let people know that this is conspiracy or this is not 100% true. I did that on when I was making TikToks. I was making I at one point I was making TikTok videos, and it was information-based videos, and I had 60,000 followers. And I would regularly make it known, if I was doing a conspiracy video, that it was a conspiracy, whether it was in the hashtag, whether it was in the description, or whether it was in what I said. I wouldn't state it as a fact. I would say it's believed to be within these texts, or this is a conspiracy. I would outright say it's a conspiracy. So you have an obligation to let people know, because there are people who will believe it as fact and go on to fight for it. So very, very interesting thing that's going on with Spotify. I don't know if you have any other further opinions on it. I know this was something that like I read on, and I have more to say on because I use Spotify and I'm more in that zone. But I don't know if you have anything else on that.
No, you covered it. I wanted to make an addendum.
Oh yeah, you wanted to say something about the last episode.
Yeah, we've had two episodes. One, that politicians are just legalized crooks, and the last one is America a Democracy?
The last episode, for those who haven't seen it, we called it "Is America a Democracy?" Which it's not.
Yeah, I just want to say this: America, with all its faults, in my mind, is still the greatest country in the world, and I'd give up my life to protect America, but not under the present conditions that exist. And I just want to, I heard something and I read something that really, really, really got to me. When Declaration of Independence was drawn up by Washington and all those great men, supposedly, and it was supposed to be equal, it was supposed to be everybody would get equal rights under the Bill of Rights and everything else, and yet they had slaves.
They had slaves, and women couldn't do anything other than be housewives. They couldn't own property. They couldn't have bank accounts. They couldn't have money. They couldn't get a divorce.
And when we fought against Britain, or Great Britain, to get our independence, we were considered patriots.
Yeah.
We wanted to protect our land that they wanted to take back from us or control. When I was watching a lot of Western history and Western movies, I realized something that it was so evident to me. The Indians were fighting to keep their land. And when we fought to keep our land, we were called patriots. When they fought to keep their land, they were called savages.
Yeah.
And we, in America, even though we are a country compared to most of the world, and we're supposed to spew democracy, we tend to bend that word democracy so that it fits us.
Yes.
Same thing with bringing slaves over to the United States. That was considered good for business.
Yeah.
It was good for business. So we bend what democracy means, what equal rights means. And, the rules that we have annoy me, that we tend to change them when it benefits us. For years, we have gone into countries to protect countries. Great. Years we've gone in to protect countries, and then we've left them with the forces that we were fighting against taking over all the weapons that we left behind. So our term of democracy is great. Yeah, I wouldn't want to live anyplace else because I'm an old middle class, upper middle class white man, so I can't complain. But I really think we got to think about that word democracy and how it and what it really means, and try to reinform people as to how we can improve it. So that's all I just wanted to make, because again, I'll say, is America a democracy?
Yeah, you know, without starting a whole topic on it, because we covered a lot of this in that previous episode, without rehashing, this is what you're talking about, these small points you're making about we were patriotic, but Native Americans were savages. Or all men are created equal, except for everyone who's not white and women. That's what a lot of people in my generation and people above me and below me are calling American propaganda. That's what you're hearing is the American propaganda that we were always the greatest country. We always did what was best for our people as well as the people around us. No, we conquered the US and took it as their own and completely shelved the Native Americans. And only now are they getting some land back. They've been sanctioned to small little holes all across America and expected to thrive. And on top of that, as an attempt to get rid of them further, they're basically living like a third world country. They're given poor water qualities, poor piping, no infrastructure, no help from the government, because the government's like, oh, you want your land? Fine, Pontius Pilate that shit. We wash our hands. Good luck. And they do everything themselves. And they live not third world country, because they're not, I'm not saying they're non-sophisticated people. What I'm saying is they're getting zero help from the government, even though they're living here under the government's rule. And it's purely because the government wants them to fail and wants them to fail on their own, even though the government is actively trying to get rid of them by giving them poor water, poor piping, and poor infrastructure. So yeah, there's things like that all across America in its history and in stuff that's going on. And that's why it's called propaganda, because none of us are being told that. We have to figure it out, or we have to teach ourselves. We're not learning that in school, because why the hell would we ever learn that? I remember learning about the Trail of Tears and then finding out when I was in college that they took the Trail of Tears out of the history books because they didn't want to teach it anymore. That's an important part of history, and they're taking it out because they just don't want to teach it anymore. I learned more through my TikToks that I was making. There are some amazing Black inventors that were so important to history that we don't learn about. The only inventors I ever learned about were white people from European countries who came to America to invent bullshit, whatever. Or the electricity and the kite and the key, or the light bulb. Great. I mean, there's so many other inventors out there, let alone history in general. So I digress. It's a very valid point what you're saying, and it's something that more and more people are what
we have to review.
But more and more people are discussing it, and simultaneously more and more people are denying it because they don't want to talk about it, because they're realizing that there's important things that will shift if we acknowledge them. So with that being said, we will shift to the second half, which is I came up with a game for you specifically called Take It or Toss It. And it's a game where I'm going to throw stuff at you, culture from my generation and so on.
Cool.
Food, clothing, video games, movie stars, whoever. And you can either say to take it, meaning that you're like, yeah, I'll take that. Like, that's a cool idea, or that's something that like I could see someone wearing, or like it's a cool food, or oh yeah. or toss it. Like, no, get rid of it. I hate it. Disgusting, whatever. So some of them are gonna be like phrases, some of them are simply just gonna be things. Right?
Good.
Okay. First thing, baggy and oversized clothes. Take it or toss it.
Well,
Because that's a style right
I,
now for a lot of people.
I let's just put it this way. I tried on some of my pants that I kept from, they're probably still in my closet from 10 years ago, and they were baggy. Not as baggy as now, but I would say take it.
Okay. What about ripped clothes, ripped jeans, ripped sweaters like Kanye's $2,000 sweater that looks homeless? What about ripped clothing?
Toss it.
Why? Oh, that's right. You don't like ripped jeans. Every time I wear ripped jeans, you come at me for them.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had all my jeans that I tossed that were ripped or had a discoloration. I would have the greatest wardrobe going. I just got rid of it. I thought if it didn't have a nice crease in it, I thought it was a terrible garment to wear.
Nope. Ripped jeans and baggy clothes. That's where it's at. Bodybuilding and a lot of exercise. Bodybuilding in the sense of people like Schwarzenegger who are getting very big, but also bodybuilding in the literal sense of just building your body and becoming more fit. The trend and the theme of one of our generations is very much about fitness and getting like very exercise friendly. Take it or toss it.
Depending on your age, there are some parents who get their children into bodybuilding at a younger age when their bones haven't developed yet, and they're still soft and they can be taken out of proportion. But for adults, I like anything that makes you healthy of mind and makes you feel good, and take it.
Okay. Hanging lights from their ceilings. It's a trend, and it is a thing of my generation to hang little string lights, twinkling lights from their windows and from their ceilings in college dorms and their bedrooms.
Peter, you're talking to the right one, right? You know what's in my house? When I bought this house 14 years ago, I had lights, expensive lights that were hanging all over the living room from the ceiling.
I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about string lights, like Christmas lights that you would hang, but smaller. They hang them from their ceilings and their windows.
Take it. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat.
What now? All right. I'm going to follow it up with what about the LED lights? Like your grandchild has, she's got rainbow LED lights.
Like my grandchild has.
Doesn't she have rainbow LED lights on the rim of her ceiling?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not
what you're talking about, Willis?
Not the other one, the other family, not my family.
Oh, Lenny. Lenny?
No, the other one.
I have no idea. So again,
I don't want to say their names because I don't want to throw their names into here, but the other family, not our family, the other family. Their family. Doesn't she have?
To me, what's going on in this world, if as long as it makes you happy and you're not making other people unhappy, I would take it.
Well, no, but I want your opinions on them. That's great. Everyone can be happy with what they want. I want your opinions. Like, you hate ripped jeans. Great. Let's go forward then.
Yeah, no, I don't care about the lights. I think it's non-incidental, and that it's your room. If you want to do it in your room, you can do it.
Okay, fine. Next one. Spending thousands of dollars on a gaming PC. On a gaming computer. People are spending thousands of dollars on a gaming computer. Take it or toss it.
Take it.
Okay. Veganism and vegetarianism. Big trend for a lot of people in this generation.
Well, that goes along with what people consider good health. And if they're happy with it, take it. I mean, I couldn't eat that. I need my meat. You, when I used
That's
to
gonna be
have.
that'll be the title of this podcast. I need my meat.
Oh no, you remember when I was younger, I had an investment in a little meat company, and I used to have the motto, "You can't beat my meat."
I am
So,
aware. I'm
so I
very
would,
much aware.
yeah. So I would say people like to be vegans. I like to be a carnivore. You like to be a carnivore. Heck with it. Take it.
It's fair.
Gotta
Um,
watch your questions, boy. You leave me open for comments.
that's what I want. I want the comments. I think they're great. Men painting their nails.
Hate it. Wait a
What?
second.
Wait, what?
Wait a second. I used to go for manicures. Now, my dad, rest in peace, was my best friend, and uh, he took me in for manicures and facials and a haircut. And I used to get manicures every time because I was in the business world. My father always said, polish your shoes, wear good clothes, not ripped clothes, not ripped clothes. You get it? And
Yeah.
I would wear clear polish on my nails. I like that. I don't like colored polish, for men, unless I don't like it. I don't think it adds anything unless they're in a rock band or doing acting in a part where it's required. Just don't see the purpose of it. But then again, it's an individual thing, and who am I to criticize somebody unless I really think that I can?
That's a fair assessment. Okay. All right. Um,
Wait a
what
second. I'm
else?
not letting you off the hook. What do you think about walking around with different colored nails, doing your toes in different colors? What do you think about it?
We've done podcasts. My fingers were painted. Of course, I'm for nail polish.
Why?
Of
Why?
course.
Because it's
Be,
freedom. Freedom,
it's a
right?
form. I see it as a form of creative expression and an allowance of men to be in touch with their feminine side in a way that is not requiring them to wear a dress. And for some men, they feel they would like to wear a dress. Harry Styles does concerts in skirts and tutus. Good for him. If that's where he feels that he can express himself and feels fluid enough gender wise to be able to do that, wonderful. But some people feel they just want to paint their nails because, and it's cool. And as someone who's played so many video games, something about painting fingernails in my brain makes sense. Like I would change the color in a video game or add like a ring or an attachment or something in a video game. Because in a lot of video games, you can put armor on and then you can make the armor like one color and you can change the color of it. And for some reason, my brain says, yeah, painting your nails is like changing the color of the armor in those video games and it's fun. And so I don't know, it's fun. Will I be walking around in like a bright yellow set of nail polish? Probably not. But I do like the black, the blue, the purple, and I'd be open to trying other colors. So yeah, I'm totally for it. I'm all for the expression of oneself. Obviously, also I think it depends on the situation. Like if you're at a funeral, I really don't think it's a great time to be having bright electric pink nails in a wonderfully colorful outfit because you feel the need to express yourself.
Time out.
What?
Would you wear? Harry Styles can wear and do whatever he wants because he has a whole bunch of airhead following him around who love him. Plus some wonderful adults who love him. Okay,
Okay.
and he's also a multimillionaire, so he can do what he wants.
Right.
Would you on a dress and color your nails and go on the New York City subway?
No, because I don't feel the need to put on a dress. I'd paint my nails and go on this New York City subway. Absolutely.
Okay.
Wouldn't
Okay.
put on a dress because I don't need to feel the need to express that way. I wear women's clothes, but in the sense of
Well,
I have cardigans and jackets that are long. They're jackets in the sense of they have no buttons or zippers. It's something you put over a t-shirt. And I like it because sometimes it has a hood and it's long and it's a nice additive to what would be a normal t-shirt. Um, I have a
okay.
couple of pieces of jewelry, like bracelets, little beaded bracelets or necklaces that were women's jewelry that I have. But that's, to me, that's as far as I need to go to express my, shall we say, feminine side and to feel fluid. Is,
Okay. That's good. That's good.
and so, but like I have a couple sweaters as well that were from women's section, and I just get them a size or two larger than what I normally do, and it fits great because as someone who likes fashion and likes to dress in different colors and try out different patterns, the men's section is consistently boring. Once
Okay.
in a
So it
while,
makes you,
do I find some good stuff?
okay. So it makes you happy. That's all that matters. You asked me, would I take it or
Toss it.
toss it? I said I would toss it, but it
That's fair.
makes you happy. That's fair.
That's fair. I'm not trying to start World War III over this, which we might have because of Ukraine and Russia, but
Yeah.
I just want to hear your opinions because I think they're funny.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
what is take it or toss it on meal prepping? So meal prepping is something that goes inside with bodybuilding. A lot of people nowadays are buying like bento boxes and little Pyrex containers, and they make meals for like the week. So they'll buy a big thing of grilled chicken, grill all the chicken, put some rice and carrots, and make the same meal. Make like 3 meals, but five sets of them, and then make that for their Monday to Friday week, so that they know that they're getting their greens, their calories, and everything, without having to memorize what to eat, and they get all their nutrients in the basic easiest form. So what is take it or toss it
Okay.
on meal prepping?
Well, I take it because as a single male now, who's a good cook, it's very difficult to cook for one person. Uh, you want to get burgers, there's two burgers. Okay, you can buy one steak, but you want to make a brisket, I'm not eating a whole brisket. You
Right.
want to make a lasagna, I'm not eating the whole lasagna. So, yeah, I would do it, and I don't concern myself anymore. I mean, unfortunately, I put on weight, and but I will cook for 3 days at a time, eat 1 or 2 meals, freeze the third meal. I take it. I think it's
Okay.
a good thing. If somebody does it for health wise, that's a better thing. I do it so that when I come back from golf, if I don't feel like throwing a steak on the grill and I froze something that was good, I can throw it in the microwave. Great.
That's a good way of putting it. I didn't think of it that way, and I agree with you in terms of taking it, because there are certain degrees that I won't take it. I'll toss it because I know certain people will measure their rice down to the like gram, the last like 0.gram ounce of nutrients to make sure that they get exactly what they need so they can build the optimal muscle. Meanwhile, they're taking steroids and powdered steroids and crap. And they're like, oh, but my protein in my chicken, whatever. To that degree, I won't take it. I don't like that type of meal prepping where they're counting calories to the nth degree, so that they can get that six-pack that they've always wanted. I don't agree with that. In terms of meal
What's a
prepping, like
what's a
what?
6-pack?
Your abs.
Oh, that's a 6-pack. Oh, because
Yeah,
the other day I was lying in bed and my belly was getting so big, and I rolled over. I thought somebody was in bed with me.
No, I'm talking
So
about it.
so
That's it.
yeah. So I don't really care about calories anymore. If I make something that's good, I'll freeze it and I'll make a whole bunch of it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with that mentality. Is like if you cook something like a brisket and it's too big, make a meal plan out of it. Wonderful. Set up
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 meals, put aside a rice and set it aside for 2 or 3 meals. Great. I don't agree with people who count the calories and are doing it to the most minuscule degree so that they can get the perfect physique. By all means, if that's
Good.
your art form and your body is how you're trying to build your temple, go ahead. Like, I don't care. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I wouldn't promote it. I would argue, depending on how fixated you get on it, it can be a form of body dysmorphia, and a
Yeah.
form of eating disorder, because you are so hyper focused on calories that it's the opposite of someone who has an eating disorder where they eat too much. So you're eating, it's a opposite of anorexia, where you're looking at the absolute last calorie, because there are people that do that. They have small scales and they weigh their rice or they weigh their chicken, and if it's point something off, they cut it off and put it aside.
Yeah.
So
I eat to
that's
be
too much.
I eat to be happy. When I like to cook for you, and I eat to be happy. And sometimes my body becomes a garbage truck.
It happens to all of us. It's okay. That's why we're humans. We learn to adapt. You become a
That's
garbage
right.
truck, and then you become a clean flowing river.
That's right. Garbage in, garbage out.
Right. Oh my God. All right, all right. I've got a couple more. Let's see. Um Using pronouns as well as the sort of LGBTQA plus community. So using pronouns and the desire slash demand for people to use pronouns: he, him, she, her, they, them.
At my age, I get it very confusing with all these letters and pronouns. Eh, uh, you know, when first your sister introduced me really to LGBT,
Yeah.
I thought she was getting a lettuce and tomato sandwich, but uh, now you and reading and a lot of speaking with your sister, I've learned a lot about it. But there are too many letters describing groups. I would rather use pronouns, but then again, people get offended if you use the wrong pronoun for them, and that annoys me. Is it a her? Is it a he? Is it a she? Is it a them? Is it a huh? I'd like to call somebody by their name. I don't care what they are. So I, I can't say take it or toss it. I would just say call people by their first name, and let's not put people into categories.
Fair assessment. Fair assessment. Um, 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 Doja Cat.
So what?
Do you know Doja Cat, the
Who's
artist?
Doja? No.
Go, go right now. I'm gonna tell a story while you look it up. Look up who Doja Cat is right now.
No, you tell me who it is. I don't want to look.
No, because
Tell me
you
who
gotta
it is.
look her up. You gotta look her up. So go
How do you
ahead. You
spell it?
can Doja cat. 2 words.
Doja Cat. I'm afraid I'm going to
So
lose the.
no,
Are
your
we?
thing, your camera will disappear slightly. It's fine. Those who are listening aren't going to be able to tell a difference, but those who are watching will just see it says "ow"
I can just swipe up.
from the very bottom. Swipe up.
Okay.
So for those, the reason I'm
Okay.
bringing Doja Cat into this is because she is a very prominent artist right now, similar to how Ariana Grande was in like 2016. Doja Cat is sort of the 2021, 2022 prominent artist who got popular off of TikTok, and she survived a cancel culture because she was in Zoom groups with neo-Nazis and having these white men call her the N-word. Um, and she survived that somehow and is still a very prominent artist. I'm bringing that up because it's important to recognize, because we don't let other people forget other things that people do. So we need to remind people that that also happened. And she wasn't really apologetic for it. She apologized after she realized her sales were going down. So that's another thing.
You want me to you want me to read what Wiki says?
No, you can just look up like pictures of her. So I want you to know what she looks like, and then you can tell me whether you take it or toss it. So
Uh,
all right,
I'll take her.
Hold on.
Anyway,
Go back to the camera. Go back to the camera. Swipe up from the bottom, and then look for the. There you go. You're back. Now go ahead. Take it or toss it.
I'll take her. I don't know
Why?
what she's doing, but I don't know what she's doing, but I'll take her.
Yeah. Okay.
She could be. You know, I love cats. I'll keep it clean.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. She's a pop star. She's a pop star. She's a pop musician. Oh God. Yeah, that's great. You know what? Fuck it. We'll end it there. That's a good way to end it. You take Doja Cat. We'll have to send her an email and let her know.
Okay, do that.
So yeah, we will come up with the next episode. Whether the next one is off of yours or mine, we can figure that out. But for those who have any comments, if you want to let us know, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to let us know any of the things that I said that you want to take or toss, please let us know. I would love to read comments, and I know you would love to read them too.
You didn't ask me one question that I would like you to have asked me about take a toss.
Oh no,
you know,
what?
Donald Trump?
Well, no, I was pulling stuff specifically from Gen Z culture. Not
Biden?
No one likes Biden.
Okay.
His approval rating is down to like 35% or something, or 38%. No one likes Biden. We chose the people who voted for Biden voted because they didn't want Trump. They didn't choose Biden because they wanted Biden. They chose Biden because he wasn't Trump. So
yeah, okay.
He's an automatic toss. Trump and Biden are both toss.
Yeah.
And that's among everyone. Gen Z culture, adults, children, everyone. No one likes either of them. Yeah.
Can I see your nails? They're
clean.
Okay.
I see you. They're clean.
Okay.
But yeah, so if anyone is watching on YouTube, hello, because I know you can see us. Comment, put a comment in. If you have a comment that you disagree with something I said or something that he said, or you agree with us, comment. If you have an idea or you want us to talk about something, throw it in the comments, please. Even if you're on Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, or Stitcher, or one of these other places, go to YouTube and leave a comment. You don't even have to watch the whole thing again. Just leave a comment. I would love to have the next episode involve people who commented. I don't have to say your names. I don't have to who came from. I can just say the comment. I would love that because I think it would be a great way to participate in the episode. Whether you agree, disagree, or have an opinion, or have something you want us to talk about.
What about guests?
We can have guests. I'm up for having guests if you want. We can do guests, and we can do little games or partial conversations together. That'll be great. Okay. We can figure out maybe in the near future, whether it's the next one or going forward, certain ones we can have guests. But yeah, check us out, share, like, comment, do whatever the hell you want. I hope you have a good and wonderful day.
Yeah, peace out.